Good evening, everyone. How are you doing this evening? I'm trying to get everything together here. I hope everyone's day's going well. Today is Tuesday. So happy Tuesday evening. Live on Instagram going. Let's see. Trying to get my notes up. So let's see if it's going to cooperate with me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go by memory. Let's see if I can pull them up here. Oh, there they go. About time. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining me this evening. My name is TaNisha Webb. I am the owner of Urban Chic Travelistas, um, and also a travel consultant coming to you live. Again, I'm doing a 30-day challenge with other travel agents to go live, talk about some awesome travel topics and everything. So this is really definitely a good time of the year to come on and talk about everything travel. Uh, been getting hit left and right with clients ready to travel somewhere, even as soon as in a couple weeks. With last minute trips and also some in the future in the next couple of months or so this is definitely a good time to be thinking about travel and everything. So tonight I wanted to come on and talk about my favorite travel apps and then give you all also some other suggestions on different apps that you might want to have underneath your belt in order to make your trip go a little bit smoother. I am of the persuasion that I need to have apps in my life. I am 100% digital. I don't really like too much of paper, or I minimize as much paper as possible when I'm traveling and things like that. And just making sure that I have apps that work offline, online, whenever I want to open them, they should be available with the information that I need. I know that I definitely have some clients who are definitely still they like hard copies, which that's fine and everything. So that's just what people like. But for me, I like to do screenshots of things. I like apps in order to help me out. I use a lot of apps in order to even keep up with my own clients. So I wanted to give you some of the apps that I like to use, on my travel vacations and things like that, and just to kind of keep myself in tune and up to date on everything. Okay, so the first one that I use like all the time, even when I'm not traveling or whatever, is the Tripit app. It's TRIPIT. And the TripIt app basically is a itinerary app that keeps all of your details, your travel documents, everything that you need to know about your trip, including your flights, your hotels, your transportation information. So I always send my itineraries to the TripIt app and create a trip through there. I do the same thing with my clients. So I have my clients' information in this app as well. I actually upgrade to the TripIt Pro because I'm always using the app. You don't necessarily have to, it's actually free. But if you upgrade to the TripIt Pro, then that's when you can actually see if there's any changes with your flight uh, and everything. So it will actually track your flights if there's any changes, if the gate moves, regardless of whatever, it will actually track all that for you. It'll tell me if there's, especially like with cancellations or delays, if there's any alternative flights available, seat trackers, fare trackers, check-in reminders, everything. So to me, it's worth that $49 a year that I actually upgrade with that app and things. So it'll even tell you based on where you're located, because it's tracking your location as well, when you need to actually leave for the airport and things. So that I love everything about TripIt Pro. I've been using it for years, even before I was actually a travel consultant. And so it is my go-to app. It's the one that I use the most, and just send all of my information right into the app and create trips. And then just kind of go from there. It'll tell you like the baggage claim information, everything you need to know. And usually in the trip, you usually know that my flight is delayed, canceled, even before I get the notification through the airlines app or over my phone, because you should be giving them your phone number and things like that. So it's been a really good app for me. So that is my number one go-to app. And the other thing, let me talk a little bit more about the TripIt app that I really love, because it'll sync to your calendar and everything. But the one thing that I absolutely love about this app is that it actually gives you a neighborhood safety score. So if you go in and you actually put in your hotel reservations and things, then you can go into the app. It'll tell you what the safety score is for that area that your hotel is located in. It'll give you a day score, it'll give you a night score, and then it actually starts breaking it out in groups. So, like one of them that I look at tremendously is I think it breaks it down in different types of crimes. And then also it breaks it down for women. So, like how many crimes are, that is being committed against women in the daytime, the nighttime. So this is a wonderful app, especially if you're a solo traveler, and that you can actually use, when you're traveling, and just kind of figure out, how safe an area is. So I definitely would tell you to download that app. You do not have to upgrade to the Pro in the TripIt app in order to get the neighborhood safety feature in there as well. You can also share your travel information as well, even if the person doesn't have it, the TripIt app, or they can download the TripIt app and you can add them that way as well. So everything will just kind of sit into that app as well. I also like it because with the TripIt Pro, just upgrading to that, it actually will keep account of all of my flight rewards numbers. It will keep track of my passport information, my driver's license. Everything is in there. And then they have added features and things like that, that they're asking specific questions if you're trying to access that information that only you should know. And so that's the other great thing about the TripIt Pro and things that they've had. They have some other safety features in there, so that if somebody were to get a hold of your phone and things, they wouldn't necessarily have access to all of your secured information and things. So that is always a good thing. Okay. So the other app that I always have downloaded is actually whatever airline that I am flying, then that's the app that I will download. I don't always have them downloaded on my phone. It just really depends on who I'm flying with. So I always download their app and things. I really prefer to have my boarding pass and everything just on the app, where it can be scanned, so I don't have all this paper that I have to juggle and things like that. And so that is one of the things that I definitely always have downloaded. So whatever that airline that you are traveling, even if it's your first time or whatever, go ahead and sign up for an account and things. You never know. Some of these airlines I probably would never use unless I'm like in Europe or in that area again. But if that's some place or, continent that you're going to actually go to multiple times, then it may be worth it for you to go ahead and just sign up for an account, get the points and things like that, and then just download the app so you can actually use it in that manner. The other one that I always do is a currency converter. This is really important because I cannot keep up with the exchange rates and how much to from a U.S. dollar to whatever it is that I am, whatever country that I'm visiting and things. So it's much easier for me to just have a currency converter app, and the one that I have is by Designer Calculators. That's the one I've been using for years, and it's always done me well. It keeps up with the current rates. Anytime that you open it, it's going to upload and update itself to whatever the current rate is for that day or that hour or whatever, however often it changes. So this is really a good way for you to actually see, and for me too, because sometimes somebody may give me a rate like in a store, the marketplace, and things like that, and they're telling me at one price, and I'm putting it in my converter like that is way too much, like because I don't know. So it's really a good app if you're out shopping and things like that, or if you're like at Forex or whatever the exchange booth is, so you kind of understand exactly how much is going to be converted. Or like I said, if somebody is charging you a certain amount and things like that, so you understand exactly what they're saying as far as how much they're going to charge you, if that's what you want to pay or not and things. So it's always a really good app to have underneath your belt and things like that. And also I use it so I know what the exchange rate is. So I also know how much money that I want to, end up spending and exchanging and things like that. So it kind of helps with that as well as preparing for the trip. The other app that I absolutely positively would tell people to make sure that you have downloaded, if you have not already, is to download WhatsApp. That's really, really important because especially in the Caribbean, on the islands, and just other countries and things like that. If you have reservations, or if you are dealing with an excursion company or anything like that, more than likely the tour operators or whoever you're dealing with is going to be using WhatsApp. That is true. Like even if you're staying in a guest house or any other place like that, then more than likely they're going to communicate with you on WhatsApp because it's free to them, it's free for you. And so I also tell my family and friends, don't text me, even though I have an international phone plan and things like that. Don't text me. Don't call me on my regular phone and stuff. I use that for emergency purposes only. If you know that I'm traveling out of the country and things, catch me on WhatsApp. Because otherwise, I'm probably not going to answer you. I'm not going to hold a conversation with you. I'm not paying for all that. So if you have anything important to say to me, it better be through WhatsApp while I'm traveling and things. So that's always important as well. Um, as far as Wi-Fi is concerned, I also use an app for that. I use a device called Roam Wi-Fi. It's ROAM Wi-Fi. You can actually get it on Amazon. It's an orange device, like a rectangular device. And I personally do not like to have to figure out where to get a Sam's card, how to upload more, minutes on our data on SIM card. I really just don't like to do that whole process. I don't want to spend any time on that when I'm traveling and trying to figure it out at the airport, at, wherever. And so, one of the ways that I deal with that is I actually use like eSIM cards, basically, is what they are. And so the app actually allows you to go in and buy like so many gigabytes or day pass or whatever you want to do with it. And so there is an app that is associated with it, which is the Roam Wi-Fi app. And so before I leave, if I know where I'm going or how long and obviously I know how long I'm going to be there, then I will start buying like gigabytes and things like that, either in that country or in that region, because you can buy them for the continent. So if you're going to be in Europe, and you don't want to go in between each country, then you can buy a pass that's specifically for Europe. You can actually do it for the US as well. And so they're a little bit more expensive, but they work seamlessly if you're going from one country to the next in the continent as well. So that's one of the things. And the other thing that I like about this particular app and doing Wi-Fi this way is that if I don't use, even if I buy like a specific country or whatever else in the app, if I never use that, so say that I bought like two 1 gigabyte passes or whatever, and I only use one of them, I can actually get refunded back for the ones that I don't use. And so that's the one thing I do like about it. And the rates are really low. And so you don't really have to too much worry about spending a whole lot of money on data at all. And it's a really good way, especially if you're like me and you work remote a lot and you need to make sure that you have, multiple ways that you can, get data and things. So, also, I recommend that for you to have some type of data, external data from your phone or whatever as well, just in case, your phone may have a while for it to kick over and things like that. Sometimes that happens where it doesn't kick over quite as fast. And once you get to your destination and things like that. So, this would be an alternative to that, so you can actually connect while you're out and about. The other app that I would tell you to have is a rideshare app. So when you're doing your research for different destinations that you're going to, make sure that you know which rideshare companies that are there. Usually, Uber is in pretty much every country that I've been to so far. And then there might be like Bolt, BOLT may be available. And then there's some other ones that may be specific to that continent or that country. And so just do your due diligence on what that is like and stuff. I really don't like to take taxis and things like that because it's all the haggling and things like that. And, then they don't want to run the rates correctly. But there's some places like when you go to like Colombia and to Cartagena and you're in the old wall city or whatever else, then they only they will charge you a specific rate, and that's their law, that they can only charge you a specific rate depending on where your hotel is located, and it's just a flat rate. So unless you're going to somewhere that is specifically like that, or if you're going if you don't have like a private transfer company that's picking you up from a hotel or from the airport or whatever, then the rideshare app would work fine and things. Even if you're like when we went to the Dominican Republic, we used the Uber app, and they primarily speak Spanish. and things, so the driver was actually talking to me in Spanish, but the Uber app was actually translating exactly what they were saying, so you can still communicate with your Uber driver. So just know that even if they speak a different language, if you're using Uber, then it will actually translate to English for you. So I really like that. It will still work with your whatever credit or debit card that you have in there. If you have a business account and stuff, you can still use it just like you're in the US. So just keep that in mind and things. And I always look also to make sure that Uber is legal. At some point, I think most of the countries that you see it in, that they've worked it out, Uber's worked it out where it is legal and things like that. But at some point, it wasn't because they had to go in and negotiate, some terms and things like that. But I find that is probably one of the safest way to get around if I have to use some type of mode of transportation outside of the public transportation. The other app that I would tell you to download is the Dragon Pass or the Priority Pass or any type of lounge, airport lounge app. So, with those, especially when you have really lengthy layovers and things like that, um, the airport lounge will allow you to go in, get a bite to eat, connect to Wi-Fi. Some of them actually have showers in them and things. A lot of times they are only available for an extended amount of time. And so you definitely want to think about when you want to go in and, and come out. A lot of them are maybe about 25, maybe up to $40 for you to sit in the lounge area and things. And so that would give you some time to actually, to relax and get a bite to eat and things like that. I'm also going to come back on a different at a different time and talk to you guys about some alternatives to the airport lounges that I kind of figured out when I was traveling this last time. So I'll talk about more about that later and things like that. I'm not going to give it away, but there is some alternatives in specific airports that you can take advantage of that I think are even better than the airport lounges and things. So that you might want to take advantage of too, especially if you have a very lengthy layover and things like that, then this would be one of those things. Um, those are all the apps that I actually had that I wanted to talk about, but just some other ones that you might want to think about. And let me see if I can pull. Uh, okay. Some other that I want to just tell you to download is if you are doing any excursions as far as like what tour, like buy a tour or get your guide or the big bus tour and stuff, what are the double decker red buses and things like that. Make sure that you're downloading their apps as well, even if you're a travel consultant books them for you and things like that. If who the travel operator is that they use and stuff, and usually they'll have it on your travel documents and things like that, then make sure that you search into the app stores and see if they actually have an app and things that you can pull in your excursion confirmation numbers and things into the app. A lot of these are really good, and I've used them on my European trip a couple months ago, and they were excellent. Because you can, if you get lost, then you can actually reach out directly to your tour guide and give them a call, and they can help you to kind of get to where you need to go. You can also reach out to the tour company itself as far as who the excursions were booked through, and if you need to hold a conversation with them. And then also, like with the big bus tour and things like that, they actually have an interactive map. And so when you're taking these and it's a hop on, hop off, tours and things, the good thing about those is that it can track exactly where you're at, and then it can actually start guiding you where you can be picked up at or get off at on the different routes. And so that's one of the things that I would definitely tell you to go ahead and download those particular apps, especially when you're doing excursions, so you can actually get in contact with not only who you booked it through, so the company, get your guide, buy a tour, whoever, but you can also have the information handy where it will pick up into an app and things, which is another reason why you should have data and everything. So it will call across a Wi-Fi phone or whatever. And so it's very, I mean, it will ease your mind. The other apps that I would tell you, like if you bought like any passes, like for public transportation, like the buses, the um, trains, anything like that, you can definitely make sure that your Google Maps is actually up to date and things like that, because I've used that a lot. In every country that I've used Google Maps a lot. But I've also used the apps that are for the actual town that I am in. Uh, so I kind of know how the buses run. If there's any suggestions on any type of museums and things like that, it'll kind of give you all of that information and things. And then, when you leave from there and stuff, you can always delete the app out and things. You don't have to keep it on your phone and stuff. But I like to keep things together based off of my trips and keep them all in one area. I also keep a little icon and things on my phone that's just for travel. So I'll push apps into there so I don't have to even think about it, because sometimes I forget the names of the apps that I'm looking for. And so I will put them in a little folder that you can create on your phone and things like that, that helps to keep them up. The other suggestion that I'm going to make too is, if you haven't already, before you leave home, download the app to your bank account. That is really helpful as well, especially if, for whatever reason, if you lose your credit card or whatever else, or whatever the problem is, that you can stop anyone from using it. But a lot of times that our bank accounts are actually associated with a virtual card that has a totally different number. And so keep that in mind as well while you're traveling, is to have that app downloaded to your bank account. I have a few bank accounts that that I use when I'm traveling internationally and things like that. And they're all associated with a virtual credit card that I can use in case something happens with my card, that I'm physical card that I'm using and stuff. So it doesn't stop me from being able to use my money in those accounts, but it does stop me from losing money if somebody were to find my card and try to swipe it. Okay. Um, and speaking of that too, the last thing that I'm going to tell you to download is that I have a VPN system, and that helps to actually kind of shield me from people being able to kind of get into my accounts and things like that. So I use a VPN system. I use Surfshark and things. It also helps me to actually be able to watch like some of my live streaming and things like that, because a lot of times, if it can tell that you are out of the country, then it's not going to allow you to look at those things. So sometimes you just want to look at something that's familiar. And so that's one of the ways that you can do it is downloading a VPN system. And so I use the app on my phone for that. And also just because I'm still running my business and things like that. And I do, process payments and things like that. So I do need to make sure that on my phone and, just apps on my laptop that I'm being, safe with someone information and things like that. Otherwise, I actually wouldn't process it. And some systems will not allow me to process because I'm out of the country. Unless I have a VPN system in place. So that's also, one of those things that I have. And then the um, authentication apps and things like that. So I always try to be really safe with information that I am processing. So, make sure that you have a two-step authentication in place on your accounts um, so that so that you're just being safe with your information. So that's all that I have for tonight. You guys tell me back down in the comment section on what apps that you like to use when you're traveling and things, so I can check them out. So I really want to know what you guys are using when you're traveling and things. So because I will try download anything, look into anything if it helps me to keep it together, then I am definitely down for it. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Tomorrow I'm gonna come on and I'm actually gonna talk about the hosted trips that I'm going to be, hosting. Uh, in 2023, 24, and 25 that you can actually get in on with a $50 deposit per person until December 17th. Don't wait until the last minute because the seats are going fast. Definitely for the Greece trip, I'm telling you, it's going to sell out. And I'm actually partnering with another travel agent friend and things like that. And so I know that she's about to secure some other people and things like that. So you definitely want to get in on that as well. So I'm going to go into details about these trips to Ghana, Greece, and Egypt. So you guys have a good idea exactly what's going to happen, what you're in for, and things like that. Give you a reason, even more of a reason, other than that $50 deposit, to go ahead and sign up and come along with us and things. You do not need to know anybody in order to have a good time with Urban Chic Travelistas and the people that are going along on it. These trips are made in order for you to actually connect with other people that have travel in common. And then also just for you to get to have more experiences. I feel that when you travel, you are not supposed to be waiting for people that ain't gonna never travel with you and stuff. So you might as well travel with other people. And to me, traveling, even if I don't know anybody, is about meeting others and things. So, you meet some of the best people ever in life when you just take chances and just go out and travel, regardless of if you have anybody to travel with you that you know. So take a leap of faith. Come on with us. And stuff, and really, learn other things. Traveling is an amazing thing, for anybody to get into and everything. So get your passport ready and stuff, and come on. We are looking forward to having you on an upcoming trip. And so, yeah, I want to come on tomorrow and just give you the tea about these upcoming trips and everything that you would want to know about them. So I will see you guys tomorrow on the same time, same channel. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. You can definitely follow me on my new YouTube channel, which is that Travelista TaNisha. So you can just look it up on YouTube and you can follow me on there and click the notification bell on there. I'm also on Instagram, which I'm going live on Instagram tonight as well. So you can follow me on that Travelista TaNisha or Urban Chic Travelistas or both. And then you can also follow me on Facebook underneath the Urban Chic Travelista page. on my personal page, TaNisha Webb, or you can actually join my group. And as you know, we get more people in there, then I will be doing more exclusive things for upcoming hosted trips and things like that. So, so you might want to join that, and that is Passport Ready Travel Club. So you can go to the Urban Chic Travelistas page, and you'll see the group underneath there as well. If you don't remember the name. So if you guys have any questions or anything, just inbox me, send me an email, info at Urban Chic Travelistas. Go to the Urban Chic Travelistas website and click on the button, learn about all the services that we provide and things like that. And we'll talk definitely about what we do at Urban Chic Travelistas, and then also definitely about the hosted trips. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for joining me.